Dear students, today we will continue the topic limits of a function. Suppose we have f(x) is equal to x into greatest integer of 1 by x, then we have to show that limit of this function f(x) as x plus 2 half does not exist. Here we have f(x) is equal to x into greatest integer of 1 by x. If we put 1 by x is equal to y, then when x approaches to half from right, that implies x is always greater than half, which can be written as 1 by x is always less than 2, that is y approaches to 2 from left, because we have put 1 by x is equal to y. Now limit of f(x) as x approaches to half from right is equal to limit of f(x) is equal to x into 1 by x greatest integer as x approaches to half from right will be equal to limit of 1 by y into greatest integer of y as y approaches to 2 from left. This can be written as limit of 1 by y as y approaches to 2 from left into limit of greatest integer y as y approaches to 2 from left. For left limit we put y is equal to 2 minus h, where h is a positive integer, as y approaches to 2 from left, h approaches to 0. So this limit becomes equal to 1 by equal to limit of h as h approaches to 0, 1 by 2 minus h, we have put y is equal to 2 minus h, and value of greatest integer of y when y approaches to 2 from left will be equal to 2 minus 1 from the definition of greatest integer function. Now when h approaches to 0, this limit becomes h0, that will be equal to 1 by 2 in minus 0 into 2 minus 1 1 will be equal to half. Now again if x approaches to half from left, this means x lies between 0 and 1 half, that is 1 by x is greater than 2, but 1 by x is equal to y, this means y approaches to 2 from right. Now limit of f(x) as x approaches to half from left is equal to limit of x into greatest integer of 1 by x as x approaches to half from left will be equal to limit y approaches to 2 from right, because when x approaches to half from left, that is equivalent to y approaches to 2 from right. By putting the value of x, x is equal to 1 by y and 1 by x is equal to y, this limit will be equal to limit of 1 by y as y approaches to 2 from right into limit of greatest integer y as y approaches to 2 from right. Now value of greatest integer y when y is always greater than 2, value of this greatest integer of y will be equal to 2, and for right limit we put 2 y is equal to 2 plus h, because y approaches to 2 from right, where h is a positive integer, and as y approaches to 2 from right, h approaches to 0. This limit becomes equal to limit h approaches to 0, 1 by 2 plus h into 2. Setting h equal to 0, we get half into 2, that comes out to be 1. Now right hand limit of this function f(x) comes out to be half, but left hand limit is equal to 1. This means both limits are not equal, that implies limit of f(x) as x approaches to half does not exist. Now see this example. Suppose we have f(x) is equal to a plus bx when x is less than 1, f(x) is equal to 4 when x is equal to 1, and value of f(x) is equal to b minus ax when x is greater than 1. And if limit of f(x) as x approaches to 1 is equal to value of function at x equal to 1, then what are the possible values of a and b? We have to find constants a and b. We have fx is equal to a plus bx as x is less than 1, equal to 4 when x is equal to 1, b minus ax when x is greater than 1. Now we find the left hand limit and right hand limit of the function at 1, because function is limit of function is exists, therefore left hand limit must be equal to right hand limit of the function as x approaches to 1. Now left hand limit of function as x approaches to 1 from left is equal to, for left hand limit we take the function a plus bx, because fx is equal to a plus bx when x is less than 1. This will be equal to limit as x approaches to 1 from left a plus bx. For left limit we put x is equal to 1 minus h, where h is a positive integer, positive real number, so that as x approaches to 1 from left, h approaches to 0. This limit becomes equal to limit as h approaches to 0, a plus b, we have put x is equal to 1 minus h. This will be equal to a plus b 1 minus h. We put h is equal to 0. The limit of this function, left hand limit becomes equal to be a plus b. Now right hand limit of function as x approaches to 1 from right is equal to limit of b minus x, because for greater than equal to greater than x 1, x greater than 1, function is equal to b minus ax. Limit of function as x approaches to 1 from right is equal to limit of b minus ax as x approaches to 1 from right. For right hand limit we put x is equal to 1 plus h, h is a positive real number, so that as x approaches to 1 from right, h approaches to 0. This limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to limit h approaches to 0, b minus a, we have put x is equal to 1 plus h. Now we setting by setting h is equal to 0, the right hand limit of function fx comes out to be by b minus a, because function of the limit of the function fx as x approaches to 1 exists, therefore left hand limit of function must be equal to right hand limit of function, that is a plus b must be equal to b minus a. From this equation a comes out to be 0. Now also we have given value of the function at x equal to 1 is equal to 4. When x equal to 1, also limit of the function at x equal to 1 is equal to value of the function. Limit of the function is at because as x approaches to 1, limit of function fx is equal to a plus b. This is equal to value of function. Value of function is equal to 4, but a is equal to 0. By putting a is equal to 0, 0 plus b is equal to b minus 0 is equal to 4. From this equation b comes out to be 4. For function for this function to be continuous at x equal to 1, that is limit of function at x equal to 1 and value of function at x equal to 1 are both equal. From this condition, values of a and b comes out to be 0 and 4. Now squeeze principle. This is a very important principle to find the limits of some important function. If fx is less than gx is less than hx for all x in some deleted neighborhood of a, and the limit of fx as x approaches to a is equal to L is equal to limit of hx as x approaches to a, the limit of gx as x approaches to a is also equal to 1. We have given limit of fx as x approaches to a is equal to L. This means for a given epsilon positive, however small, we can find a positive number delta depending upon the value of epsilon such that fx minus L L is less than epsilon whenever x minus a is less than delta 1. That is, value of function lies between L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon whenever x minus a is less than delta 1. Again, we have given limit of function hx as x approach to a is also equal to 1 from the delta epsilon definition of the limit, because limit of hx is also equal to L. This means hx minus L becomes less than epsilon. For a given epsilon positive or small, there exists a delta 2 depending upon the value of epsilon such that x minus a is less than delta 2. That is, hx lies between L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon whenever x minus a is less than delta 2. Suppose that delta, we have take delta, we take delta is equal to minimum delta 1 and delta 2, then from equation first and second we can write, first equation can be written as fx lies between L minus epsilon to L plus epsilon for x minus a less than delta, and similarly hx lies between L minus epsilon plus L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon for x minus a less than delta. Also, fx is less than gx is less than hx for all x in some dilted neighborhood of a, then this condition also hold for when x minus a is less than delta. Then from third, fourth and fifth condition, L minus epsilon is less than fx less than gx less than hx less than L plus epsilon whenever x minus a is less than delta. That is, gx lies between L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon for x minus a is less than delta. This means limit of gx is also equal to L. This is the result we have to prove. Now we prove that sin x of x limit as x approach to 0 is equal to 1, and also limit of tan x upon x as x approach to 0 is equal to 1. Because from the trigonometry, whenever numerical value of x lies between 0 and pi by 2, that is in first quadrant, sin x, numerical value of sin x is less than numerical value of x is less than numerical value of tan x. Dividing throughout this inequality by sin x modulus, then this becomes 1 dividing throughout by sin x modulus, similarly x modulus upon sin x modulus, tan x upon sin x modulus. This becomes equal to 1 because sin x modulus upon sin x modulus cancelled out. Now this can be written as 1 less than x upon sin x modulus less than 1 by cos x modulus, or we can write it as 1 is greater than, taking reciprocal, sin modulus of sin x upon x greater than the modulus of cos x, because tan x upon cos x is equal to 1 by cos, and taking reciprocal this comes out to be cos. Again, we can write it as cos x modulus is less than modulus of sin x upon x is less than 1. For first quadrant, numerical value of sin x is always positive, therefore modulus of sin x upon x in the first quadrant is equal to sin x upon x. Also, limit of cos x as x approach to 0 is equal to 1, therefore by squeeze principle, limit of this function cos of modulus of cos x, limit of sin x upon x, and limit of 1 as x approach to 0, because limit of cos modulus is equal to 1 and limit of 1 is will be equal to 1. Therefore, from the squeeze principle limit of sin x upon x as x approaches to 0 is equal to 1. Similarly, limit of tan x can be written as limit of sin x upon x into 1 by cos x. Limit of this sin x upon x is equal to 1, and also limit of 1 by cos x as x approaches to 0 is comes out to be 1. Therefore, limit of tan x upon x as x approaches to 0 is equal to 1. Now, we also can prove limit of sin inverse x upon x as x approaches to 0 is equal to 1. If we put sin inverse x is equal to theta, then x will be equal to sin theta. As x approaches to 0, theta also approaches to 0. Then limit of sin inverse x upon x as x approaches to 0 is equal to theta upon sin x sin theta, because sin inverse theta is equal to sin inverse x is equal to theta. From this, x comes out to be sin theta. This will be equal to limit theta approaches to 0, theta upon sin theta. This can be written as 1 upon limit theta approaches to 0 sin theta upon theta, and from this result we have already proved limit of sin x upon x as x approaches to 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, limit of sin theta upon theta as theta approaches to 0 is equal to 1. The limit of sin inverse x upon x comes out to be 1. Now, see this example. We have to evaluate the limit as x approaches to 0, 1 plus x under root minus under root of 1 minus x upon sin inverse x. If we put sin inverse x is equal to theta, then x will be equal to sin theta, and limit as x approaches to 0, then theta also approaches to 0. This can be written as, this limit can be written as theta approaches to 0. We have put x is equal to sin theta, then 1 plus sin theta minus 1 minus sin theta under root upon theta. 1 plus sin theta can be written as, 1 can be written as cos square theta by 2 plus sin square theta by 2, and sin theta from the trigonometry is equal to 2 sin theta by 2 cos theta by 2. Similarly, in this term, 1 can be written as cos square theta by 2 plus sin square theta by 2 minus 2 sin theta by 2 cos theta by 2. Cos square theta by 2 sin square theta by 2 plus 2 sin theta cos theta can be written as cos theta by 2 plus sin theta by 2 whole square. Similarly, this will be equal to cos theta by 2 minus sin theta by 2 whole square. Limit as theta approaches to 0. This square cancelled out with square root, and we get limit theta approaches to 0, cos theta plus sin theta by 2 minus cos theta by 2 minus sin theta by 2 upon 2. This will be equal to cos theta by 2 cancelled out is equal to limit as theta approaches to 0, 2 sin theta by 2 upon theta. This can be written as sin theta by 2 upon theta by 2 as limit approach to theta by 2 approach to 0, and this limit is equal to 1. Therefore, limit of the function, given function, is equal to 1. Now, see this example. We have to prove that limit of function x minus a sin 1 by x minus a as x approaches to a is equal to 0. Here we have f(x) is equal to x minus a, and suppose g(x) is equal to sine of 1 by x minus a. Now, limit of f(x) as x approaches to a comes out to be a minus a, because as we put x is equal to a, limit of this function comes out to be a minus a is equal to 0. Again, numeric value of gx is equal to sine of 1 by x minus a is always less than 1, because range of sine x is always, value of sine x always lies between minus 1 and plus 1. Therefore, numerical value of sine x is always less than 1. This means gx is a bounded function in the related neighborhood of a. Therefore, that is, we can say uh, limit of gx, that is the limit of sine 1 upon x minus a, is always a finite number less than 1, but limit of fx is equal to 0 and limit of this product fx into gx will be equal to a 0 into finite number, 0 into finite number, this will be equal to 0, therefore will be equal to 0. Now this, see this, we have to prove that limit of 1 plus x raised to power 1 by x as x approaches to 0 is equal to e. Now limit of 1 plus x raised to power 1 by x as x approaches to 0 is equal to limit of we can expand this function with the help of binomial theorem. This can be written as 1 plus n into x, here n is equal to 1 by x, n into n minus 1 upon 2 factorial into x square plus n into n minus 1 n minus 2 upon 3 factorial into x cube and so on. After simplification, this function is reduced to this form, limit as x approaches to 0, this x cancelled out, 1 plus 1 by 1 factorial, 1 minus x upon 2 factorial, 1 minus x into 1 minus 2x upon 3 factorial and so on. As we set x equal to 0, this comes equal to 1 plus 1 by 1 factorial, 1 by 2 factorial, 1 by 3 factorial and so on. This is equal to e. Therefore, limit of 1 plus x as x approaches to 1 by x, limit of 1 plus x raised to power 1 by x as x approaches to 0 is equal to e. Now this is also important limit. Limit of ax minus 1 upon x as x approaches to a 0 is equal to log of a. If we put a raised to power x minus 1 equal to y, then when y approaches to 0, that is, then y approaches to 0 as x approaches to 0. If we take x equal to 0, then value of y comes out to be 0. This means as x approaches to 0, y approaches to 0. From this ax minus 1 equal to y, ax comes out to be 1 plus y, and log of a raised to power x is equal to log of 1 plus y. This will be equal to x log of a, because the log of m raised to power n is equal to n log of m. X log of a is equal to log of 1 plus y. From this x comes out to be log of 1 plus y upon log a. Therefore, this limit reduced to limit of ax minus 1 upon x as x approaches to 0 will be equal to limit of y, because ax minus 1 is equal to y and the value of x comes out to be log of 1 plus y upon log a. This can be written as log of y into log of a upon log of 1 plus y as y approaches to 0 is equal to log a is constant, can be taken out, log of a into log of y upon log of 1 plus y as y approaches to 0. This can be written as log of a into limit y approaches to 0 1 upon log of 1 plus y upon y. Log of a into log of a into limit y approaches to 0 1 upon log of 1 plus y raised to power 1 by y, because using this property of log, m into log of n is equal to log of m raised to power n. This 1 by y can be raised to the power 1 plus by using the property of log. This will be equal to log of a, and from the previous result we have already established in this article 21. Limit 1 plus x raised to power 1 by x as x approaches to 0 comes out to be e. By using this result, this will be equal to log of a into 1 by log e. Log e is always equal to 1, therefore log a is this comes out to be log a. And then limit of a raised to power x minus 1 upon x as x approaches to 0 is equal to log of a. So student, this is for the we have just many examples in which we have established some results which are very important to evaluate the limits of some important functions. In the next video, in the next lecture, we will study the continuity of a function. Thank you.